cold wet day out there today, and gee, I wonder what's happening in Australia. Astrology, it might be a retrograde. But I'm just going through these documents. This is 2 years worth of persecution and gang stalking by the New Zealand police and justice system. A whole briefcase full of documents, essentially for what was the original allegation. They've used the legal name. I don't claim to be the legal name. I've never claimed to be the legal name with them, and I've been invoicing them at $1,000 an hour for using that, administering that legal name. Now, the original allegation was calling the Queenstown District Court manager corrupt. Actually, it was calling the judge, what's his name, Judge Kevin Phillips, corrupt, and then they swapped that at some stage to Margaret McSweeney once that first allegation was thrown out. But we have got detectives from all over the country. We've got digital, forensic experts from around the country. They have just deployed, we've had numerous visits by police serving this paperwork. Every sort of month or so we've had, these are the bail conditions. So you've got 1, 2, 3, each one represents an arrest, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I don't know, 20, 30 of them, either a court case or an arrest, banning you off the internet. They forged bail conditions after the Christchurch event where Sean Astin dressed up as a policeman. They forged bail conditions to come and arrest us in Greymouth and Blackball. The duty solicitor stood up and showed a forged document to the JP. They're all in on it. It's a hive mind of snakes and their Nazi children, Nazi family members. They run this whole Reich, they are the Nazis, so the whole World War II story is a hoax, they staged the whole thing. Here goes, as they always do, here goes the written off camper van. So they arrested us on the side of the road outside Motueka one day, and then drove off. And then 15 minutes later, a Holden drove in the back of the camper. So that was staged and set up. The Holden driver rang up a few weeks later and apologised and said, do you know what happened? But when we saw his Holden, they'd smashed watermelon all down the side of his window, so it looked like brain matter. It was just ridiculous. And they've written off the mountain bike. All our belongings were smashed. And another one of those redhead policemen came and dropped us off that photograph while we were in the cells in Nelson that day, being held in the cells. So they're all in on it, the police, the justice system, right throughout your community. Just these Nazis that run everything. And this is all based on, here goes the original arrest document. There are nice people out there. Somewhere Margaret wrote that she's a media whore and put a heart on it. Presenting okay. They did the whole mental health thing. It says no, not bailable, no alcohol, presenting okay, no drugs, no alcohol, completely straight, bit of a tobacco addiction, which isn't good, admittedly, and a coffee addiction, but I've been straight for many years. That seems to be the problem. When you start sort of straightening out and looking at it around you. And I'm just going to take a photo today of all these documents because I've just noticed that I've submitted to them, served on them, because I've just noticed that there's a whole folder missing today of fines, which would be an equal amount of paperwork of me invoicing them for fines around the country, many of which they made up, speeding fines for places I've never been. And that whole folder seems to apparently have been stolen quite recently. I won't offer any suggestion on that, but the same thing happened at a camping ground in Thames once where the caretaker showed up and said he was related to Hitler, wasn't he? And I saw him around the back of the caravan one day and they'd stolen a whole folder of my documentation in regards to the first Queenstown assault, which they set up in 2013. So what are we now, 2020? 7 years of just being served paperwork, set up by the courts, chased around the place, spied on everywhere I go. These Nazis, that's a hive mind, it's a gang that operates right around the country. You're called a targeted individual. They set up that fight in Queenstown, that's on this channel, where they came in and sent a bouncer in, and then they forged documents, they withheld, they had fake court hearings, multiple counts of perjury on the stage on the stand by the bouncer, etc. And that whole folder documenting all of that, right, invoice them. I'm going to take photos of this today. We have, and this here is notifying them that we've been invoicing them the whole time and tracking all the, there goes the invoice numbers, and tracking all the documents to them over the years. The whole fines folder's just been stolen, but I think I've got backup copies of it somewhere. To pay that bank account number, I administer the legal name, and that's at $1 million. Here goes copies of the invoices, all of which have been sent to them. They've also been emailed to Emily of the Christchurch District Court, whose email is notguilty@extra. She has a copy of all of these invoices, and including interest, it's now up to $8.2 million. And that doesn't include the initial $5 million request of damages for... I'm going to take photos of all these today. Here goes all the documents that were served. I wrote to them after that folder got stolen at the camping ground in Thames. I wrote to them. That's courier tracked. Here goes the tracking number to the Ministry of Justice. All the documents involving the 2013 staged assault charge, all the documents that were stolen out of the back of the caravan by one of their Nazi soldiers, signed by Jim or JC, authorised representative for the legal name, all rights reserved, applicant response, etc. That's all the documents, and they stole it out of the back of a caravan. So they just go around stealing stuff behind your back. Documents, when it comes down to it, if you've got everything documented, they just send people in to steal the documents. My whole fines folder's just gone missing, probably in the last few days, from where I am, I imagine. So they come in, out of all the stuff I've got sitting around, that all they wanted to get was that fines folder. It doesn't surprise me. So I'm going to take photos of all this today. There's a $5 million claim. Where is it? For the initial setup in Queenstown. So it's $8 million worth of invoices. And Constable Lisa Twentyman. She raided our property in Amberley unlawfully. You've got to give a warning under the digital harm legislation for someone to take something down. You don't come and raid their property. But look at what they did to the camper van. That's when I was sitting in the Nelson jails for the day. So there you go. That's the last 2 years. And then there was 2 years, many years of gang, traffic fine stuff. And then 2 or 3 years with that assault charge in 2013. So it's been 7 or 8 years. Because why? Because somebody was alleging that they were corrupt, that the Queenstown District Court was corrupt. And if you go look at some of the cases that's been documented, it's on that channel, just protecting, or appearing at least to protect rich listers and sex offenders and police that were sex offenders and stuff. How much of it was true, I don't know, but you do have the right to question it and to comment on it. The original allegation in regards the name calling of the Queenstown District Court manager, the language used was quite harsh. You know, it referred to the whore of Babylon, who is a drunken harlot. You know, maybe she's a sober woman, I don't know, but as far as I can tell, the whole system is run on heroin trafficking and meth trafficking, right through the justice system. That's what I see. I might be wrong, but you know. 25 arrests, 12, 13, 14 court hearings, probably 8 arrests, 4 or 5 nights in jail, 5 days in a mental hospital. They posted this on Facebook, that photo, and let people comment on it with one of their little gang members saying, he just put a comment on it saying pedophile underneath the photo. I had to write to police to get that removed. You know, just really, really nasty stuff, eh? And forensic experts, policemen around the country, all around the country, have come and served me documents, arrested me. It's been a nationwide effort, simply for calling the Queenstown District Court corrupt. That's what you get. So I'm taking photos of these documents today and I'm going to upload them to Google. I don't know if they're safe on Google, probably not. I would suggest nothing is safe on the internet at all. And that fines folder has been stolen just recently, I've noticed, which is about, well, I've got copies of the invoices here. Here they are. Those are the original invoices with interest, and that's been sent to Emily at the Christchurch District Court, and it's been courier tracked and served on them many times throughout the court. But that folder's gone missing just recently, and they stole the original assault folder with all that documentation, but I've just videoed that, all the copies that were resent to them after that folder got stolen out of a camper van, out of a caravan in a Thames holiday park back in about 2014, after the case, 2015. So that's what we're dealing with, folks. I mean, it's just endless, paperwork and persecution if you stand up to them. But at the same time, they will give you the dole. They stole the business off us eventually by forging paperwork, banning you off the internet. You can't work online if you've been banned off the internet, obviously, so they steal your business off you. I won't go into the details of how much that may or may not have cost us. And then they give you the dole, $200 a week. And they start deducting the fines that you've been disputing for the last 7 years. They start deducting them out of the dole. So then you get $250 a week, just to hopefully go away and leave them alone. Carrot and stick approach. But this system, is just absolutely bug. I mean, they're just so sick, so corrupt, it just beggars belief, really. The whole system. What's this one? Litchfield Street. So I've documented, I've been asking for damages, but it all boils down to that list of invoices there, which is $8 million. That'd be nice. I don't know if it would help me give up smoking much. I'd probably go a bit quiet. Would I go quieter? No, probably not, I'll just keep on doing what I'm doing, man. And when I get upset about the stuff I see around, like taxing people's incomes, they've got to, they put this GST in charge. That's one of my big things. Here's one of my big things is KFC and McDonald's. You're taxing smokers to pay for the health problems, these obese, and even these sneaky little liberals that walk around buying KFC and McDonald's, and you don't tax them at all, and you take income tax off people who work to fund their health problems. It's just disgusting. That's one of my big beefs. And the other big beef, so it's income, tax the fast food companies, tax them out of existence, they're evil. And the other one is income tax. Get out of it. You introduce GST, it's now 15%. Remove your income tax. It's disgusting. You're just thieves, and all you're doing is look at these demons in Parliament, and on TV it's just a army of demons. God knows what they're into, but they're all high fashion. They've all got designer suits. They've all got luxury properties. They've all got holiday homes, and they're just robbing anyone that actually works for a living, and it's just ridiculous, And this is what you get if you call it out. Just the whole state descending upon you. What's that? 12, 13 minutes. So I'm just taking photos, backup copies of some of these documents I've served on them. The interest on that is accumulating each month at 15%, so it's $8 million so far. Most of it's overdue traffic fines. And 2010 invoice, that's $234,000 is the total amount of $1,000 an hour for all of these arrests and stuff involved with. I got insurance. They paid out insurance on that camper van write-off. In a way, I wanted to get out of that camper van. It sort of worked in my favour, so I don't know. I think in a way they are actually sort of trying to they are making an effort to make you happy and so that you pipe down and leave them alone. They do make it isn't all just pure evil. But my problem is, I've explained it, isn't it? This animal farming, empires built on blood, cities built on blood are destroyed. You cannot build your lifestyle around the mass slavery of dairy cows. It is frigging disgusting. It's just, and it's demonic, it's lazy, raping dairy. Now they rape the dairy cows so that they can have better holiday homes. It's just sick. We can all have holiday homes and Tinnaroos and designer homes. You don't have to rape cows to do it. You need to go back to the old-fashioned diet. Just rewind the clock. The technology's improved. There's no one's to say that you have to wipe all that out. But you just can't be raping cows and have factory farmed chickens and shit. It's not evolution. It's demonic. And all those people you see defending the system and all these people that come down on you, all these detectives and policemen and court managers, that's what they're fighting for. They're fighting for the mass murder of chickens and raping dairy cows so that they can have at the top of the pyramid high-grade heroin and meth at their parties. That's what they're defending. And child abuse, as far as I can tell. The creepiest of them seem to be into kids. That's what it's all about. And that's called Babylon. Get out of her, my people. And that court manager was referred to as the whore of Babylon. So there is some truth to it and truth to the stuff in the Bible. Get out of her, my people. It's just because it just gets more and more demonic as they just become more drug addicted and perverted. That's the same old story on repeat, isn't it? Eh? Okay, cheers.